Hello. As you already know, there's going to be a referendum on the membership of our European Union status on the 23rd of June. At the moment, we are in the EU. We know what it's like to be in the EU. We know what happened when we're in the EU. And the Out campaign seemingly wants us to take a step into the unknown. And that sounds very much like a political statement. But it is a step into the unknown. No one from the Out campaign can answer the questions of what it's going to be like outside the European Union. One example, what happens to EU nationals who live in the UK at the moment? Will they be asked to leave inside a day on the 24th of June? Will they be given a time frame? Will it happen on the 1st of January? Is there a time frame for when we leave the EU? What happens? What happens to all the laws that are supposedly made in Brussels since we joined in the 70s? What happens to those? Do they just become blank? Are there going to be loads of empty swathes of legislation that remain untouched because they're not part of the EU? How long will that take? Will that take a day, 6 months, a year, 2 years? There is no plan, from what I can see, for what the UK is going to be like outside the EU. So how can the British public possibly make an informed decision based on nothing? I don't know if it's just me missing something, or whether I'm being melodramatic about it, or whether I've not done enough reading into it. I mean, what's going to happen? One EU law I can off the top of my head, the 48-hour working directive. What happens to that? On the 24th of June, will employers be able to force us to work more than 48 hours and claim that we're not part of the European Union anymore, so they don't have to be under that bracket? What happens? No one is providing any answers, and that's just one case, that's just one law. There are literally hundreds of grey areas, which no one from the Out campaign, whether it be Farage, Boris Johnson, whatever, is providing answers for. So how can we possibly make a decision? It makes no sense to me. It really, really doesn't make any sense. And until someone, I was watching Channel 4 News the other day. Anna Soubry was very much arguing for the In campaign. I don't like Anna Soubry. I think she's completely up herself against Nigel Farage. And Anna Soubry was asking what the EU would look like. What the UK would look like outside the EU. And Farage just didn't have any answers because he can't answer. Because he can't possibly know until we've voted out. And if we do vote out and it's a disaster and everything goes to pot, what happens then? Belgium want us to, if we leave, to stay out. Belgium trying to implement a clause that says if we vote to leave, we leave forever. We can't come back in. So what happens if we leave and it's terrible and it's the wrong decision? What happens then? And until someone provides these answers, and until someone actually provides an actual argument into leaving, why would people think any different? I don't know. I'm beginning to rant now, but it just makes no sense to me. I'll be voting in to remain in because I know what it's like in the European Union, and I don't want to play blackjack with the UK's future, stick or twist. Why would anyone do that? Anyway, until the Out campaign provide answers, I'm just going to be 100% behind the In campaign. And that's coming from someone who did want to leave the EU when I was an angry person a few years ago. Rant over. I saw a Facebook status earlier that pretty much said what I've just said. And it's completely valid. And until answers are provided about what the UK will look like outside the EU, just vote in, please. Take care. Bye.